The following is an exclusive presentation of the Yes Network.
Up next on Running, the program that showcases athletes in action. A win today will take more than a one-hitter by Matt Harvey. The lineup is stacked with all-stars in the Reebok Spartan Race at Citi Field, but be prepared to play every position. To the Czech Republic on the continent, the Prague Half Marathon, an enchanting mix of speed and jogging, with the flavor of this 1,000-year-old city on display for all. 17,000 head out for a tour of the nation's monuments in the Credit Union Cherry Blossom 10-mile run. And the field in the USA National Championship for women ratchets up with each mile. For the rest, this runner's rite of spring is the start of the outdoor season. Who would have guessed? Pomp and ceremony begin the race day in Central Park in the Scotland Run, and there's no stopping until you get to the finish line. Every summer, the New York City Triathlon draws an excited crowd of endurance athletes, many raising money for charity. Doing their homework miles now, so the miles on race day come a little easier. The Ronald McDonald House Tri-Team. A rousing start to the 10th More Fitness Half Marathon. On this day, the center of the universe for women's camaraderie and commitment to fitness. A few cheers go a long way. Many exciting finishes in the 42-year history of the New York City Marathon. The editors of Running have picked their choice for the top 5 fantastic finishes. Those final yards are precious territory. Helping to keep New York City on the move, the City Parks Foundation Run for the Parks raises funds to support their mission of providing free and accessible arts, sports, and education programs within the parks. It's all there for you. You can manage your expectations early when you are greeted by a 300-pound tractor tire.
So when you shall respond, I will start. Who am I?
Obstacle racing comes to Queens with the Reebok Spartan Race at Citi Field. Thousands take off in small waves to take on the new obstacle that awaits around every bend. This turf in Queens is steeped with a rich history, not only of baseball, but many events held at the old Shea Stadium. In the 80s, the annual 100-mile championship was staged on a loop using the warning track and parking lot. Then, in the late 90s, an annual run to home plate gave thousands a chance to be in the starting lineup. Back to the Spartan starting line. Team spirit will make the unknowns of the Citi Field adventure a bit less intimidating. And starting the waves, one of the biggest teams of all, United States Army combat troops in Afghanistan, 8,000 miles away.
Get set, go! Let's go! All right, let's get the reps in.
It doesn't take long to realize you're in for a full body experience. Every muscle in your body gets tested, even some you didn't know you had. You lift, you run, you crawl, but you just keep moving. The winning time in this Spartan sprint, about 30 minutes, with most of the field double that. Helping hands make the ups and downs a little smoother. The Concept 2 rowing machines, used in training by many elite oarsmen, gives you a memorable cardio workout and an appreciation for what it takes to go fast on the water, whether in a single or 8-oared shell. It's about power and technique, or the lack thereof. You can throw your weight around, but never forget, there's always another challenge just up ahead. Had the Spartans defending Thermopylae displayed similar spear-throwing skills, the course of history may have changed significantly. Rock climbing experience would be a handy asset to your growing list of athletic skills. The bucket list just gets longer. The best way to train for a Spartan race, stay fit, head to toe, and bring teammates and enthusiasm to the starting line. Finally, to the warning track. The finish line is only a short fly ball away. So near, and yet so far. Oh, we didn't mention the gladiators at the finish line. The Reebok Spartan Race at Citi Field. All this for a medal around your neck. And the glow of accomplishment that comes from within for you and your teammates. Today, lots of all-stars in the house. To Prague in the Czech Republic. A magnificent city with centuries of history almost overwhelming in its significance and complexity. And a half-marathon field with lots of sub-60-minute elites at the front, followed by nearly 13,000 in this IAAF Road Race Gold Label event. Serious man-on-man racing at the lead in very cold conditions and a surface that includes cobblestones and steel tram tracks. Leading into the final turn, it's world half-marathon record holder Sirsene Tedeschi and Emmanuel Missel, both of Eritrea. Tedeschi holds on for the win, 10 seconds over the 1-hour mark. Then it's Gladys Chirino of Kenya, setting a new course record and taking home a $45,000 payday. The streets of Prague are alive with racing action. Coming up, there's no standing around in the Scotland Run 10K in Central Park. Up next, in the Credit Union Cherry Blossom 10-mile run, serious strategy and tactics in this Women's USA National Championship. No mistaking Cherry Blossom Week in Washington, D.C. Finally, the winter gives way to the runner's rite of spring. Sort of an evacuation in reverse, as nearly 20,000 descend on the Capitol for the 41st Credit Union Cherry Blossom 10-mile run, a running celebration passed on from one generation to the next. The Washington Monument, under repair due to an earthquake 18 months earlier, still welcomes the international field. This year, the event hosts the USA 10-mile Championship for women, presented by America's credit unions. The international and USA women's field start together. Number 1, Alan Cabrono won the race last year in record time, but he's got plenty of fast company this year. On the Memorial Bridge over the Potomac, a huge lead pack for the women. Tucked in there, number 3, Janet Baucom of Arizona, perhaps the favorite in the USA Championship. The elite men head out, followed by the waves that will get 17,000 out on this basically flat course. Caroline Rotich of Kenya pulls the pack early as the mass field fills the Capitol with happy feet. Other elite women in the USA Championship, Sarah Crouch, and behind her, number 12, Brianne Nelson. Easy running for the men in the early miles. You can tuck in and get a free ride. The free ride is over for the elite women. Rocic throws in a surge, and the pack is splintered. Balcom in sixth is the first American. Rush hour on the Memorial Bridge. Caroline Rocic of Kenya is first to the credit union tape, with Belenich Olgira of Ethiopia a few steps back. The America's Credit Union's USA Championship tape is ready, but Balcom misses it. But Millicent Korea of Kenya doesn't.
Congratulations! We'll get you an official time.
But Janet Balcom is still the USA National 10-mile champion. The second USA woman, Brianne Nelson, then Sarah Crouch. Now, a momentary pause to catch our breath. A festive atmosphere greets runners with the expo at the extraordinary National Building Museum. Front and center, affirmation that the event serves as a fundraiser for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals, a consortium of 170 premier children's hospitals across the United States. To date, over $6 million has been donated to Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Credit union officials proudly display this year's contribution. The miles go by, and the lead pack gets thinner. Lots of very special sights and sounds in this capital of the free world. Once you're in a groove, you settle in, meet some new friends, and next thing you know, the miles are flying by. And for Alan Kiprono, the miles aren't flying by quite fast enough. The unwanted footsteps belong to Danielle Salel, also of Kenya. You know, Kiprono is asking himself, who is this guy wearing number 35? He's supposed to be toast by now. Not intimidated, Salel goes to the front and pushes. 400 yards to go, and Kiprono makes his bid for victory. But Salel responds. Then Kiprono goes again. Kiprono, emboldened with each stride, goes for his second straight win. Salel comes out of nowhere to make it a photo finish. Race officials at the finish line give the win to Salel, and the photo timer confirms Salel's win by the thinnest of margins. Time for some fresh air after that one. The field moves at whatever pace works for them, each step raising money for the Children's Miracle Network of hospitals. The Credit Union Cherry Blossom 10-mile run, the runner's rite of spring.
So you definitely want to be smiling.
All you need are the pipers to conjure up images of Scotland. Then, magically, you are at the starting line of the Scotland 10K in Central Park.
Running in Scotland's fantastic. If you run in the Highlands, it's all downhill at the lowlands, so it's great. So there's many fantastic scenic runs in Scotland, the Loch Ness run, for example. So I'm hoping that many of the people out here running in New York will be inspired to come next year to Scotland, their year of homecoming, and do a bit of running in Scotland. We've got a fantastic event in Scotland next year, the Commonwealth Games, with people from across the Commonwealth will be coming to Glasgow, and the centrepiece of that, of course, are the athletics events. So running's big for Scotland now, and we'll try and make it as big as it is here in the Big Apple.
Wagehu Tefera of Westside Runners outkicks Matthew Forrest of the New York Athletic Club for the win. Then it's Liz Costello of the NYAC first to break the Scotland Run tape. The Scotland Run, keeping metro area runners very much in touch with that exciting world across the Atlantic. Up next, the Ronald McDonald House Tri-Team puts in some serious sweat equity in preparation for the Midsummer New York City Triathlon. One of the highlights of the summer sports season, the Aquaphor New York City Triathlon. The event serves as a platform to raise money for various charities. Among the top tier of fundraising groups, the Ronald McDonald House Tri-Team. The house provides temporary housing for families of kids undergoing treatment for cancer in New York area hospitals. Triathlon is a homework sport, and regularly doing their spin assignments, members of the Ronald McDonald House Triathlon team. In the yellow, team co-captain Tina Lundgren, and leading the class here at Equinox 63rd Street, the other co-captain, Buddy Van Voo.
We have a whole different kind of happy hour here at Equinox and with the Ronald McDonald Tri-Team. And I tell you what, we have a fantastic time trying to do fantastic things for our kids. And our motivation, strictly 100%, is to help kids with cancer and their families. That's why we're here. That's why we're working. You always hear about entrepreneurs and business people who have built companies. They talk about sweat equity. They talk about getting in there, getting their hands dirty and doing it. We actually put a lot of sweat into sweat equity. And this is not an easy task to complete these races, but it's the sweat of love, literally, for doing this and for helping our kids. The great thing about competing for a cause, and that's what we call it, exercising and competing for a cause, is that those daily workouts, that event, they're no longer about you. You take that burden off your shoulders, and that is now about another cause. And for us, it's the Ronald McDonald House and our kids and our families who are battling cancer.
So the homework is being done now, so the miles to the finish line on race day will pass by with a little more spring in the step, knowing it's all for the Ronald McDonald kids. Many thousands await the moment of release to savor the pleasures of road racing here in the More Fitness Half Marathon in Central Park.
This is the 10th anniversary of the More Magazine Fitness Magazine Half Marathon. Started out 10 years ago as a More Marathon, and we've got 10,000 runners here, plus we've got 10 women who run the world with their 10 friends, and it's totally exciting and fun. You can set a goal, you can get healthy, you can change yourself, change the way you look, and change your outlook on life by running it.
It's a team effort even if you're not wearing a race number. Lapping the field, Olympic marathon medal winner Dina Castor, drafted by Eliza Aliu of Westside Runners. Dina would go on for the win in record time. The More Fitness Half Marathon. 1 decade down, many more to go. Up next, the editor's choice for the top 5 New York City Marathon fantastic finishes. Coming up this November, the 43rd running of the New York City Marathon. Over the decades, the elites at the front have staged some of the greatest road racing battles of all time. Here's the running series editor's choice of the top 5 in descending order. Number 5, 1980. First-time marathoner Alberto Salazar boldly predicts he will run under 2 hours and 10 minutes. Experts scoff, but Salazar delivers in dramatic fashion. Number 4, 2004. Paula Radcliffe of Great Britain battles with Susan Kipchemi of Kenya for a good part of the race. It isn't until the very final yards that Radcliffe pulls away for a 3-second victory. Number 3, 1983. Rod Dixon trails Jeff Smith for the entire race, but won the final 385 yards in extraordinary fashion. Dixon celebrates, and Smith collapses.
Pain on his face. Agony. 209.06.
Number 2, 2005. Paul Turgot and Hendrik Ramala battle shoulder to shoulder over the final mile. Turgot manages to outlean Ramala for a 0.3 of a second victory. Number 1, 1981. Alberto Salazar, based on his training times, announces he is in good enough shape to break the world record. Fearless, he holds to his pre-race pace plan. The top 5 New York City Marathon fantastic finishes. Let there be many more.
On your mark.
The City Parks Foundation Run for Parks. There are hundreds of parks in New York City and thousands of programs, and one organization keeps things moving and improving.
The City Parks Foundation is like the software for the parks of New York. We run programs in 800 parks around New York City. We run free programs for kids, athletic programs, track and field, golf, tennis. We run Summer Stage, which has about 300,000 to 400,000 people in free concerts in parks all around the city. We have education programs. We have senior fitness programs. We really bring people connected to their parks all throughout the city to really make the parks a vibrant part of New York City.
The City Parks Foundation Run for the Parks, keeping arts, sports, and education programs forefront and accessible to the people of New York City. I'm Lisa G. Get up and get going.